All right, welcome back, guys. So, this is not my car. I'm just going to start by preface saying that this is not my vehicle. This is my neighbor's 65 Buick Rivera that I have been working on. He stopped by when I moved in and said, "Hey, do you know anything about LSs?" I said, "Yes, I do." And he said, "Well, I've got this 65 Buick Rivera that is LS swapped. It's a 5.3. I don't believe there's any engine work done to it, but it is paired to a 4L60, 4L80, I'm not sure exactly. Ran off a Holley EFI, which I am very accustomed to. So when I got this car first, it had no way to get an air filter on, no nothing. Had just the wires were touching the headers. The dipstick wasn't bolted in. Transmission dipstick wasn't hooked up at all, wasn't mounted, it was just dangling. You can actually partially see if you look at the dipstick where it burned. Let me try and get that angle for you. See if I can zoom in. So right there, you can see exactly where it started to burn through because it was just resting on the headers. So what I did was I said, get some ceramic coated plug wires. These are very nice, by the way. They were off of Amazon. They were about $80. It's a little pricier, $80 to $90, which is a little pricier, but they work very good. They look great, and I actually loved how they worked and fit. They didn't do anything crazy. So continuing across, there was a rat's nest of wires over here. And I'm not saying it's much better, but it's at least cleaner and trackable. You can now see where all the wires go. So there was just a rat's nest of wires. I put a distribution block in right here to run some of the smaller power wires, which worked out very well. I have a 300 amp breaker there just in case, because everything is fused and relayed inside, but I wanted that to be there. Starter wire. That was originally an 8-gauge wire, ran to the inside of the car off of a lug, distributing power. It was an absolute annoyance to deal with and track these wires down, but I finally figured it out. But now that we've got it, I have everything decently routed, so it's not a complete rat's nest, a complete disgusting array of things, which I'm happy with. But the unique thing about this car is it is on air ride. So there's a tank in the back that gets filled with both compressors. You can operate in each wheel individually as far as up and down. Now, going into the interior, the dash is apart, and there was no upholstery done to this at all. But this was also a wreck. I had to basically go through all of this and figure it out. Figure out the push to start, figure out the windows. The windows should be relayed, but I haven't done that. And they work as is. So until that breaks, I won't touch it. But that was previously done by another shop. I would not recommend going to that person at all. They did not know what they were doing. And quite frankly, they sucked. But push to start does work. See the air right there. These 4 switches are for the air ride. That is windows and start. That master key has to be switched on. I'm adding a power kill switch by his knee, just for ease of access. For when you hop in the car, you don't gotta get out. I'm finishing wiring that in right now. Gotta finish bolting that down as well. But other than that, we're making very good progress on this. I have a turn signal kit for a motorcycle, actually, ironically enough, hooked in. And I ran that to the turn signals up front and all the way to the back. Currently, I'm wiring in the back, and I'll check everything all at once. But I got a nice little 10-pack of connectors on Amazon. These are going to make my life 10 times easier. So for these turn signals, it wants to see power and ground in the same wire. So I'm just going to give it that. And I'll run 3 individual connectors, one for the left turn signal, one for the right turn signal, and then one for running light and brake light. Because the hazard should also be ran off of this, so I don't have to worry about that too much. And the third, excuse me, sorry, the plate light, the light for the license plate, I will figure that out later, and I will probably wire it in as its own thing, or with the running light when that comes on, which I don't think is a too big of a deal, but I may be wrong. Basically, I'm gonna keep working on that, on the actually wiring these in. I'll check back with you in a little bit once I get the connectors ran for the left and right lights. Thank God they gave us little tags so I don't have to actually worry about which light is going where. But I will check back in a minute and we will figure it out from there. Thank you. All right, I'm back. We have everything wired in that I can today. I don't have the running lights set for the headlight. Actually, I could wire that, I lied. I can use this as the running light, this black wire. But it's not a big deal right now. This is all fairly easy to get to. But the turn signals are wired in. I'm quite happy with how they came out. This kit was about 80 bucks on Amazon for turn signals, hazards, and a horn, which I think is pretty good, considering it reaches the length of this land yacht. You know, this is not a short car by any means. But those are both wired in. I have the original harness that was wired in out. I'm going to take this home with me and do some wiring at home. I'd rather do it in the nice comfort of my home after a shower rather than in a garage that is very hot and I'm still dirty from work. So got that done. I went ahead and just got the kick panel installed with the battery kill switch, which is over here. Let me grab my light, sorry. Here it is. Kick panel's installed. I gotta do some fit and finish work and actually get it to butt up a little bit farther over. I don't like the clearance next to the gas pedal, but right now it is also not bolted in. Obviously there's no seats bolted in or anything along those lines, so I don't have to crazily worry about it right now. But that is something I still want to do, and I will do that another day. Then I'm on front of the car. Right now I have my wire ran right, where did I put it? Oh no, where did it go? Here it is. So I have my wire ran for the brake lights, and obviously the black wire will be the running light. But when this car was done at the other shop, they redid brake lines in the front because I believe he swapped to a disc brake, which is great, but there should be a pressure sensor in line to know when to turn on the brake lights. And there isn't. So now I have to go redo the brake lines again with a pressure sensor. Also, another thing that I noticed that I don't like about this setup is the fact that there is no wiggle room. This is going to flex. Everything is going to flex in this vehicle, and there's no way for these lines to actually move or any way for them to actually flex with the vehicle and not rip out. I don't like how it's just a tight U and it's just rigid. There's no way to maneuver or move it at all. I'm gonna have to redo that. I'm gonna coil some brake line around, which should provide enough for the vehicle to actually flex and the brake lines to flex the way they need to and not break and lose all brake pressure. And then you're, trying to stop I'd have to say this car is at least 6,000 pounds, 6,000 pound land yacht. But I have my relay mounted here. I'm gonna probably start wiring this to the wires. I'm going to be using a ground side switched brake light. So I'm going to run the ground off of the relay to the pressure sensor. When it sees pressure from you hitting the brake pedal, it will then complete the circuit to ground, thus turning on the brake lights, which most vehicles, I believe, are wired out of the factory like that anymore. But I'm going to go do that or start doing that, and I will be back with an update. After that, I'm probably done for today. I'm kind of beat. But I will also cover his other vehicle over there because that thing is sweet and I feel like YouTube needs to see it. Okay, I'm back again. So doing some research. this is the constant 12-volt power that is fused from the battery. I don't have a thick enough wire, so I'm not going to actually wire this in today, but I have what I need for the next time I come through and wire this, which shouldn't be too crazy. I'm quite excited about that. But that is basically all I've done on the Riviera today. Put a good 2 hours of work in. It's definitely a long-standing project and takes some time, but I'm quite excited and it's working out well. So let me just pop that over there. Same with this and the connectors. I'll grab them in a minute. But coming over to the other vehicle, 65 Lincoln Continental, fully refurbished. I love this car. This is one of my dream cars. I can't wait to actually be able to obtain one of these one day and work on it. But all white interior, sound system's done. I don't want to touch it because I'm dirty, but this thing's pretty sweet. The doors open like butter. But how can you not beat that? Can't beat it. Absolutely love the suicide doors. I wish they would bring them back, but yeah, custom sound system. This thing's pretty sweet. But thanks for watching today's video. I really appreciate it. Like, subscribe, and share with your friends. Any support is greatly appreciated. But that's it for today's video. Have a good night. Bye.